help the big banks, we hurt the regional banks, we hurt the community banks, we hurt, you know, and so we just, these unintended consequences that come from these big giant bills are something that I hope we'll learn from that and not repeat it. Yes.
Was there a question? Just one more from me.
Okay.
Back to this Paul Ryan plan and Bull Simpson proposal. Just raw prediction. What do you think are the chances in the next 24 months that a major grand compromise could be reached by the president, whoever that may be, Republicans or Democrats, of a major addressing of spending and entitlements and tax reform that the Ryan plan calls for, that the Bull Simpson calls for, something along those lines as a blueprint? Politically, what chances of something like that actually being implemented, being passed in the next 24 months? What is your sense of that?
Well, last summer, or late summer, there was a Budget Control Act that was passed. The financial watchers of our system, after that happened, downgraded us because it didn't go far enough. And so I think that there are those who are predicting 2 years. That's all we have. So you said 24 months, that was prophetic, because there are a lot of people saying you got 2 years to do something.
To take a bold action.
To take a bold action.
Significant substantive action.
Not the $1 trillion or $2 trillion, no. They're looking for $4 to $5 trillion over 10 years. That's what's got to happen. And I believe that, so I said, Representative Van Hollen saying that he realizes it needs to happen. You're at least thinking about it. And the defeat of the Obama budget, which would have kept us on that current path, is another plus in my mind to say, yes, something has to happen. Even Timothy Geithner said, we know there needs to be a solution. We don't have one, but we don't like yours. They know that, but okay, give us one. And I think that's where we are. I'm very confident that by force, in that we're forced to make a decision because we get to a position of where Greece is, or by realization of the facts and looking into the future, one or the other, I believe not only will we have to make a decision, but I don't believe it's going to be before the election. Anybody else with a question? All right. Thank you all for coming today. I'll just wrap it up with one little thing. I'd like you to think about 2 words, and one word would be envy. And there are a lot of people that believe this country is a country based on envy, in that I want what you have. But I don't see that in our country. My word is aspire. I think there are people that aspire to do better. They have aspirations. I have 6 kids and 7 grandkids. I have aspirations for every one of them. I'm not envious that somebody else has 10 or has 3. I just know I've got these 6, and I have great aspirations for what they can become or do. And I believe that's what America is really about. So when you hear all about this envy, of envying somebody else or whatever, I hope you don't fall into that. I hope you think, no, I think it's our responsibility as a government to produce a country that has the freedom to aspire to be whatever they'd like to be, or where they can be. And in doing that, I believe in the end, that in my mind is the picture of our country. We are people that we have aspirations for ourselves, our children, grandchildren, our friends, our relatives, and others that we know. We have aspirations for them. And the freer our government is, the less we are headed towards some sort of collapse and other things. more opportunities we have to aspire to be all that we can be. That's what this country was made on. I think that's what we can prove. Yes. Last word. You get the last word?
Aspirations. We should be having aspirations for others. It's the spiritual side of kindness and aspirations for others, not just my kids and my grandkids and these white kids and these special privileged kids. And where the money went, follow the money. The lobbyists and the financial institutions took most of the money and the wars. And now we want to go get it from the little guy that's been suffering through the thing and go after social concerns for them. It just sounds like a pretty cruel, heartless, very unspiritual thing. Even though you can thump the Bible all day long, it doesn't sound like you're coming from Christ's teachings of kindness, compassion, and forgiveness. I don't hear any of that. I hear cutting down. The countries that made it are the ones that spent money and had to stand us. Canada's doing all right. Their banks didn't fail. They have health care. They pay half what we do. They're all covered. What's wrong with that equation? Are we all that hard-nosed? We can't see that? Germany has collective bargaining and management work together. That's working better than what we got. Their economy's 10 times stronger than ours. Plus, they ship out products overseas and build stuff. A lot of stuff that we receive. But we're just afraid to look at the big picture. We just want to hunker down in our Tea Party type little niche. And it's just no naysayers and no thought, no new ideas, just repeating the same old charts and the same PowerPoint crap all over and over again. And I'm just saying, we can all wake up. I can give some, you can give some, I can learn some, we can all learn some, but we're not going to learn by repeating the same old repetitious dogma and by rote stuff. Your stuff is totally by rote, I'm sorry. I don't mean I shouldn't be name calling you, but I mean, you're just an accountant that's sitting there counting nickels and dimes and dollars and cents in the debit. But it's not helping the country get better.
Well, I will say this.
Since you picked me out, I'd make a point, if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure.
I disagree with your premise.
Good.
It's not by rote, it's from long study and a lot of professionals.
Me too.
I think a lot of your commentary is based on symbolism, and feel good, which is great. And those are wonderful
I've
policies.
I was in the Army.
Wonderful policies and goals you set out. I have the same, most of us do. But to suggest we're not spending not only billions, but trillions on social welfare in this country is simply not true. Now, we do spend a lot on wars and so forth.
Oh, no.
Germany doesn't, Canada doesn't, because we take care of
No, they
defense.
don't want to be part
Because
of
they
our
take,
craziness.
well, whether you like it or not, we're doing that. But to
Well,
suggest
I don't
that
like
we are
it.
not spending
Killing
a
young
short
men
amount of
for-
money
For rich corporations.
Well,
on social
okay.
welfare is simply not true.
Yeah, yeah.
And to spend extra dollars, I think a lot of studies have shown that's not necessarily going to help.
Maybe
So
we'll
we
find
disagree.
something to agree on. Okay.
We'll agree on your principles and your objectives.
And I have studied politics, economics, philosophy, cultures, religions since I was in the Army, back in 59, 60 I got out, drafted in the Army. Did my time, learned a lot, and also have not stopped reading or learning. And I think we all can open up our minds and maybe there's ideas from this position and from this position also.
Absolutely.
But not to get so hard on the little guy. It's coming down on the little guy, it just seems so unspiritual.
Well, here's what I'll tell you. Again, I like good words, and I think aspire is a good word. And I also believe that, this is a giving country too. And personally, when I got there, I determined I didn't take any health care benefits. I didn't go there for any sort of benefits. I just, I have needs too. But I didn't take those. I paid for my own. I didn't take the health or vision or hearing or dentistry or whatever, none of that. And I decided when I got there that I would, we talked about rolling back, and I said I'll roll back my own salary. I tried to do that, but they have to pay you a certain amount. Everybody has to make the same. So at the end of the year, I called the treasury and asked them if I could bring a check over to give to the debt, paying down the debt.
Sure, Romney could work for no salary also.
Yeah, so anyway, I did that. They said, don't tell anybody. I said, I don't think you have a problem. They said, nobody's ever come over here and given us money back before. But I did find out too that Warren Buffett said that he would match anything anybody gave. So he sent me a nice letter and said he was going to mail me his check. His check, so we doubled the amount. So anyway, I think there are ways to come to solutions. But I think no matter who we are, we can't turn our face away from the fact that those are the numbers that exist, and they're agreed to by both the Democrats and Republicans.
Let's go for the
But I really
Republicans and the
appreciate
banks that took
y'all.
all the money. Why don't we go after some of their money? 1%, only that much is out of balance. Countries don't survive out of balance to this extent.
Yeah. Well, anyway,
Jeez.
thank you all for coming. Really appreciate all the input. Very good.
Y'all make
Appreciate the help.